Right now, I am walking on one of the most fascinating battlefields that I have ever been to. This is the Hrtgen Forest, and in the last episode of History Traveler, we were taking a look at the 28th Division, whose nickname was the Bloody Bucket, and their fight along the Cal Trail. So the 28th fought all around this area of the Hrtgen Forest and suffered mightily here. And we're going to take a look around at some of the places where the 28th was, and also some artifacts from one of the men who served in the 110th Regiment of the 28th Infantry Division. Anyone who has watched this channel knows how much I like to look at bunkers. And right here in the Hrtgen Forest, we have found one that is just cool as heck. As a matter of fact, this one still has a lot of the original paint on it to camouflage this position. So what we are looking at here is a machine gun bunker, and I've come up on the back end of it here. So of course you can see that the government has gated it off because it doesn't look like it's exactly structurally sound. But anyway, this is one entrance, and here is another, and then this window right here would be for protection for the rear area. So you might have somebody staged up with a rifle or a machine gun there to prevent anybody from attacking from behind. All right, and then let's just take a walk right over here, and we're going to look right into the dang sun. And then here is the front end of the bunker. So if we move up a little bit closer here, well, they're inside. Again, it's gated off, so it makes it a little bit difficult to make out, but you can see kind of like a stand there. That's for the placement of a machine gun. So as I've already mentioned, we're right here in the Cal Valley. So this would have been to protect the valley. We're set back from the front of the Siegfried line, but this is kind of in this rear area. And not too far away, well, there's another bunker that was used to treat the wounded.
So we're in the Hrtgen Forest, and I'm very honored today to bring back some artifacts from a guy named George Schwarz. Now, George Schwarz was in the 103rd Medical Battalion of the 28th Division, and we're going to go to a medical bunker that was used by the Germans, or built by the Germans, and later used by the 28th Division medics and medical personnel. And we're filming here because the lighting conditions inside that medical bunker are a little bit too low light, I believe. But I wanted to bring some of his artifacts back here today. And, you know, unfortunately, we don't know a lot about George Schwarz. He never did interviews or anything like that. He was local. He lived right near Gettysburg. He was originally from Millerstown, PA, but he lived in York, Pennsylvania. And his daughter brought me his items many, many years ago for the museum. And, you know, when there's guys who we don't really know a lot about, the one way we can really preserve their memory is to preserve their artifacts and their photographs. And that's what we have today. And I thought this was a good place to do that. And I'm going to show you a couple of things right now. We made copies of the photos, but we have a couple regular artifacts. This is his medical card. Medical personnel had cards like this with his fingerprints, his name. We also have his dog tags. Those are the combat type dog tags, not the next of kin, the type that he may or may not have worn here, but there's a good chance of it. And there's his 28th Division patch and his combat medical badge. Now, he would not have gotten this till later. This badge didn't come out until after the Hrtgen Forest, but I just wanted to bring these items back to honor him. We're also going to show you a couple photographs. There was a bunch of snapshots in with his items. They were definitely taken in Europe, but we don't know exactly where. But again, what an honor to bring these items back and tell his story as best we could in one of the places where he fought. And, you know, the carnage around here that the 28th Division experienced was you know, legendary. And, yeah, I just hope that his family appreciates it, and, you know, we can honor him in this way.
I wanted to take a moment to look at a few of these photos from George Schwarz that shows a little bit of his time in the service during World War II. Now, some of these may be after the Battle of Hürtgen Forest. So here you can see, you know, a couple of medics loading some guys up into an ambulance. And then if we turn the photo, well, here we have a picture of George by a bunker. So this is something that, you know, would have been fascinating to these American soldiers as they started moving through the Siegfried Line, just in the same way that it's fascinating to me today. But yeah, it's always interesting when we have these artifacts to have photos to go with it so that we can put a face with a name.
One of the other things I brought out with me today that belonged to George Schwarz is this Bible, and it's a so-called armored Bible. It has a metal cover, and it says, "May this keep you safe from harm." And you know, there were stories in the Civil War where guys would have Bibles in their pockets, in their breast pockets, and a bullet would go through and it would actually stop a bullet. Well, these were marketed to people, and I don't think this would stop a bullet, but it is metal, and you know, I think it was kind of a symbolic thing that they put these metal covers on here. But this was given to George Schwarz from his wife, Janet. And it says, "From my darling wife," and you know, it looks like it was used. It's got some wear on it, so I'm sure he would have had this with him at least for part of his service. And again, it's nice to bring some of these items back to the battlefield and honor George Schwarz today.
Here in the Hürtgen Forest, this was a place that was really just almost like a 60 square mile meat grinder. The US and the Germans both just kept feeding men into this awful place, and it kept chewing them up. So the medics, anybody that you talk to who's a veteran of the Second World War will tell you what heroes the medics were. And they would have been exceptionally busy here during this battle, including men like George Schwarz. So right now, we're going to leave the bunker that we were just at, and we're going to go to a medical bunker that originally served as a German position on the Siegfried Line and then was later taken over by the 28th. Okay, so we just rolled up to a German medical bunker on the Siegfried Line, and you might be waiting for me to reveal it. Well, I already did. This is it right here. So this bunker, originally sat here, was built in the late 1930s, and then later on, after the war, well, there was a house that was built on top of it. So someone is actually living here, but the Hrtgen Forest Museum got access to the bunker, has cleaned it out, and now manages it, gives tours in there and whatnot. So anyway, we're going to go take a look inside of this medical bunker. I've never been in one of these before, so yeah, pretty excited. Okay, this is actually just pretty dang cool. So right here, this is a ventilation port for the bunker, and then here are the steps to go up to this person's house. I am completely jealous of these people right now. I want to live on top of a bunker myself. And then right here is the entrance to the bunker. So this is the original iron bars, or the gate that would get you access into the front door. So anyway, we're gonna pop this thing open, unlock it, and yeah, take a quick look inside. All right, we just walked into the entrance room of the medical bunker here, and we're gonna just kind of take a quick walk through this thing. It's different than any German bunker I've been in before. The open entrance room, oddly enough, also doubles as a bathroom. So you have a toilet here and also a toilet right here. So that's kind of an interesting way to welcome people into your bunker. And then we're going to walk through these doors right here, but I want to explain real quick why they are split. So here on the Siegfried line, well, it's expected that there's going to be, an attack at some points to defend Germany. And if these bunkers got hit with a large bomb, and let's say there's rubble that drops down in front of the door, well, by having this split, if this rubble, completely covered this part, well, the people inside wouldn't be trapped. And you could open this top part here and still get out. Looking back at this door from the other side, you can also see it's got this little sliding thing here where you can check out into the entrance room and make sure everything's good to go, or maybe shoot out of it if you need to. Just open that back up. And then in this room right here, well, this addresses another concern, and that is poison gas. So this is kind of a detoxification room right here. So if there was a gas attack by the Allies, well, soldiers would come in here in order to get cleaned, because you don't want to, contaminate this whole space. Here is an area where soldiers would put their clothing for detoxification. And I mentioned, the possibility of a bunker being hit by a bomb and causing rubble to drop. Let's say this entrance out here got completely caved in. Well, this door right here acted as an escape hatch. All right, and then moving into this room, well, obviously this is a medical bunker, so this is for the sick and the wounded, and this is just one of, oh gosh dang it, just bumped my head. This is one of the sick rooms here in the bunker. Okay, so moving back through the entrance area here, this room right here was for water storage, so there's no system to bring water into the bunker, so water would have to be stored right here. Also, we have another gas lock area right in here. They've also brought in materials to kind of, reinforce the idea that this is a medical bunker. And in this room, let's just open this up and walk in. This is the dressing room right here. So you can see they've got a coal stove in here for heating. And then if we go back in here, this orange thing is to basically keep moisture out, preserve the contents here in the bunker. But this right here is the officers' quarters. Okay, moving back in now to another, I guess like a sick room or a room for the treatment of the wounded here. And then if we go over to this room, well, this is where we're getting a little bit tight in here. This is where the medics would be quartered. So again, just very, very tight spaces that we are looking at in here. Just barely functional, to be honest with you. All right, let me back out of here. Oh, gosh dang it. Just hit my head again on that stupid ceiling. All right, so these weren't built for people my height either. And then in all of these bunkers, of course, again, the concern is always going to be with gas attacks. So there would be a little bit of an overpressure in the bunkers in order to, try and force gas out. Well, here is the ventilation room right here. So if we come around here, we can see a little bit more of this system. But yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of this German medical bunker of the West Wall that ended up becoming an American aid station in late 1944. Well, there you go. That was a little bit on some of the positions that the Germans built in the rear area of the Siegfried Line, and a little bit more about the 28th Infantry Division. I always love visiting battlefields and visiting historic places, and when you can add to that the artifacts from the men who actually, walked these grounds and fought here and served here and sacrificed here, it really just adds to the experience. But anyway, that was a little bit more from right here in the Hrtgen Forest.